Hey, since this was the last of a 5-part series on light, I mentioned to Sid we needed to do something special. And I asked him what he felt about pyrotechnics. He said, knock yourself out, go for it. So I want to make sure everybody's aware of the closest emergency exit this morning. All right. But before that, let's go to the Lord with prayer here, please. Gracious Father, let your word be heard here this morning despite what I may be saying. Fill us with light. Fill us with enthusiasm. In Christ's name, amen. Despair. It's the complete loss of hope. In the verb form, it's to lose hope, be without hope. During the past few weeks, I've come close on occasion to falling into despair as I've sat here on Sunday mornings and watched my list of potential talking points evaporate off my list. Yeah. Much like an ice cube evaporates on a hot sidewalk. And what makes it sting so much is it's my fault. I had a choice of which Sunday I might be standing up here, and I chose this one because I was trying to be compassionate. I was scheduled at that time to speak the last Sunday of December, and I thought, these folks need time to recuperate, to regain some strength. So I took this Sunday. I didn't think about the fact that I would be following 4 very intelligent, articulate, and passionate people speaking on the same subject. And I began to despair that I would have anything left to talk about. Then I took some of my own advice and I stopped trying to do everything myself and take time to listen. And I learned again that when God is part of something, the oil in the lamp is never used up and the light never goes out. We're here to talk about light. Light is electromagnetic radiation that has the property of waves. Now, doesn't that just get your morning started? But we're not here to talk about physical light, are we? We're here to talk about the light that shines in us, not on us. God's light. Now, if you were to ask me to define God's light, okay, I'll tell you anyway. I would use one word, and that's love. Not everyone every day, but every day someone carries a light. Kim, if your group could. I've recruited a bunch of helpers here. There are light bearers among us that go quietly about shining light. And one of them suggested that since we are talking about light, we should find a way to use the candles from the Christmas Eve service. I thought it was a great idea. So we're going to distribute the candles. Just hand them out, if you would. And once they are distributed, they're going to bring a piece of the light from the altar down, and we're going to light the candles. And you know the sequence. Hold yours once it's lit upright and let the next person light theirs from it. Churches throughout history have had a common tradition in their service, and we do it here too. We light the altar candles. I don't know how many weeks I've sat and watched that process and just thought nothing about the significance of it. It kind of becomes a signal that church is now in session. And when we carry it out, I think you can go ahead. It means we're done. Why do we feel it necessary to bring the presence of God into the service? God's already here. Well, that's not what we're doing. To me, This is a reminder that God is here, to remind us that the light of God was here before we got here. And when we carry the light out, it's not that we're taking God out of the sanctuary. I don't even want to be around here if you try that. It's to remind us that God's presence and light goes out before us into the world. And we are privileged to carry it. Now, when everyone's candle is lit, I want you to hold it for a few moments and just reflect on how you can carry the light, the love of God, into the world. What we've done is taken this little light, tiny little light up there, and turned it into a big light down here. You all are bearing God's light. Have you ever noticed, too, at night, if you open the door or your window blinds, the light rushes out, it pours out, the dark never comes in? That's the way it is with God's light. It's poured out. And where it's poured, dark cannot flourish. And despair cannot exist. Where God is, there is hope. So I encourage you to be the light bearer you are called to be. And do it with enthusiasm. Doesn't always have to be a big thing to make an impact. It may be as simple as simply listening to someone who needs to be listened to. I mean, really listening. It may be as simple as a trite, silly little thing that I read about. It happened in Lakeland, Florida last December. A lady paid in a McDonald's drive-through lane, paid for the car behind her. 249 people in a row after that did the same thing. One little light became a big light. As Paul said, do everything without grumbling or arguing. I like to say do it with enthusiasm, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky. And like Paul, when you pour out your light, it will be as a drink offering to God. The light, the love that goes forth will leave no shadows. Amen. Please extinguish your candles, and we're going to ask our hander-outers to be picker-uppers.